So let's go back over to Italy, where your passion started, and really, obviously, that's where your original country, where you came from. What do you think is the wine business is going to look like in 5 to 10 years in Italy? How much change do you see coming?
Well, the biggest changes, I think, are going to come from southern Italy. I think that so far, even though people that know wine have known for a very long time that this is where a lot of the values are in Italian wine, I think that the world is waking up, to those wines. I think that, they're going to be more popular in more places. There's going to be more demand for them. They're going to be better known. So there'll be a little bit more competition for the top wines, from that area. But I really feel that the wealth of Italian wine is in the enormous number of indigenous grape varietals that we have. And as a market like the United States gets more sophisticated, more educated, people eventually start getting interested in going beyond the basics. What are the basics? I would say that for white wines, we are talking about Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and maybe Pinot Grigio. And for red wines, there is a handful of grapes, maybe 5 or 6 that are really important, and the rest is kind of obscure. Well, it's that obscure area that is really attracting a lot of interest and a lot of people. So I think that in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to be talking more and more about Nero di Avola, about Cannonau, about Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, about Aglianico, about Primitivo, those kind of things.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
It is.
It's interesting. We've seen in the wine business in Ohio and Kentucky that some of these varietals are actually catching either the somms or younger people in general. They're just intrigued by something new. So I think we have a sense of that happening. Do you see anything short-term that might be a new varietal or a new style that is pretty exciting?
I'll tell you, one of the wines and areas that I'm really excited about is Mount Etna in Sicily. Sicilian wine in general is very exciting, but Etna is particularly exciting. This is an active volcano that is full of vineyards on pretty much all sides. And those vineyards are planted at high elevation in a warm climate. So, right now, if you go to Sicily, you'll see a lot of snow on Mount Etna, even though you are within eyesight of the coast of North Africa there. So we're talking about very warm days where the grapes get plenty of sun and therefore plenty of sugar, and very cool nights where the temperature drops and you get great acidity for those wines as well. So varietals where southern Italy would be too hot do really, really well on Mount Etna.
Nice.
And the wines resemble, for the red wines, Pinot Noir, not in terms of the aromatic so much, but in terms of the weight on the palate, in terms of the style of the wine, in terms of the lightness on the palate. And yet they have this incredible minerality that comes from the volcanic soils. So I think those are exciting wines. You were talking about sommeliers before. I don't think you can talk to a sommelier right now without him or her bringing up Mount Etna.
That's nice.
So that is very exciting.
Very interesting story.
Yeah. And I would say also going the other way towards the Austrian border, the wines from the Alto Adige, especially in the whites, continue to become more and more compelling every vintage.